Warning! The following podcast contains strong language which some listeners may find offensive. If you do,
up yours! That's only if you don't listen to the podcast. Otherwise, not up yours.
did you know the Untitled Wrestling Podcast is on all of the social media outlets? Give us a like, follow, share, subscribe, or even a review if you're feeling generous. Facebook and YouTube at Untitled Wrestling Podcast, Twitter, Twitch and Discord at Untitled Rest Pod.
Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of the Untitled Wrestling Podcast. It is Tuesday, you know what that means. It's me, your boy, Big Tasty, joined once again by Jay and a returning Faye. Faye, how's it going?
Yeah, the power of technical wrestling is summoning you back. Like, you're welcome.
The power of, like, fuck the Tories has brought you back to us.
Yeah, and John Moxley on commentary.
John Moxley. We're going to talk a lot about John Moxley on commentary today. I feel it was a vibe, wasn't it? It was an actual vibe.
The Blackpool Combat Club were actual menaces this entire show, and I was fucking here for it.
Yeah, so just to give people an idea what to expect on today's episode, we're basically just going to talk about everything related to Wrestledream because it happened less than 24 hours ago. It was ridiculously long. I think I'm the only one who watched it all the way through live. I went to bed just after 5 a.m. So today's been productive. I don't think my brain's fully recovered yet, but we'll give it a go. Jay, you did like a sort of half and half, didn't you?
No, about 3/4 and a quarter.
Yeah.
I managed to make it up to the semi-main event, and then I was like, I need bed.
And
I felt like I got fooled.
Did you watch any of it live? Or?
So I watched up to Eddie and Sheeb.
Which is the second match, but hey, well, second real match, like not the pre-show matches. It was like the fourth or the sixth
Josh
match.
Barnett and Claudio was a real match. Okay, like let's not go there.
That eight-person tag match was fantastic as well.
Yeah, like the pre-show was really good.
It was.
I like them doing like 20 minutes before on YouTube before the 0 hour, and then them just doing all the matches on the 0 hour. I think that's a good little thing.
Yeah. So should we go straight into 0 hour then? Because well, I got back like after, so it started at 11:30 UK time, didn't it? And I got back after this. I got back just before midnight because I was at my mate's house doing D&D, and I literally walked in about 5 to midnight, and I said to Sarah, like, have I missed any matches yet? And she was like, no, it was literally the end of Tony in the ring with Inoki's grandkids.
Yeah.
I mean, you did. I was gonna say you did. Well, you missed an Eddie Kingston promo where Stokely Hathaway made threats to Eddie Kingston because he doesn't like being alive. Ricky Starks called a security guard C.W. Anderson, which popped exclusively me. And then as Faye mentioned, there was Tony Khan, Rocky Romero, Shibata, and Inoki's grandsons in the ring. And after like Tony said this is Inoki's grandsons, it went to Christian watching the fucking video.
Yeah.
So good, like spying out his next orphans.
Well, on the press conference after, Tony brought it up. He went, "Oh yeah, you were looking at the video, like you were watching the presentation with Inoki, with Inoki's grandsons," and then Christian just goes, "Yeah, I heard they lost their grandfather," and it's just like a really awkward silence for like a minute where Tony's like, "I can't believe he's just done this."
Oh my god!
Christian was a fucking menace on this entire thing.
He was from the beginning to end. He was just an absolute bad lad.
Good guy.
So we'll go through the pre-show first. So yeah, like you said, they sort of got all of the sort of ceremony out the way first, didn't they? And then they just gave us like 4 matches, one after the other, pretty much. It was just like, here's a match, here's a match, here's a match, here's a match, and it was like, yep, off we go. So we started with Athena, Billy Starks, Keith Lee, and Satoshi Kojima versus the Shane Taylor Promotions, which was Lee Moriarty and Shane Taylor, Diamante, and Mercedes Martinez. So we did get Mercedes on the show, because not the way a lot of people thought.
Yeah.
This was really fun though. Like,
I enjoyed this immensely.
Especially Athena murdering Lee Moriarty with an O-face and then trying to fight Shane Taylor.
That was
Just
incredible.
wanting to murder all the men.
Yeah. I can't wait for Athena to eventually do a murder on Billy Starks, because
Also, Keith Lee slamming Shane Taylor was legitimately fun as well. That was lovely.
Also, Keith has dropped a fuck ton of weight.
Keith looked really good. Yeah, he looked in really good shape.
Yeah, he looked fantastic.
And Billy Starks on another AW pay-per-view. Like, you love to see it.
Doing kicks to everybody. And Breadman murdered Lee Moriarty with the Lariato.
The cozy lariat.
Lariat Kojima.
No elbow cock drop though. This time.
No one's deserving of it, that's why.
Moriarty was definitely going to end up with one of them if the match went a little bit longer.
Carries on, yeah.
So really fun match. I think I can't remember who got the pin. Was it Keith Lee?
No, it was Kojima.
Yeah.
Kojima pinned Lee Moriarty.
The Breadman himself, using the power of carbs.
It was after that cozy lariat, wasn't it? Like that's what got it.
Right, next up then we had the first really pleasant surprise. Well, two really pleasant surprises. One was obviously seeing Josh Barnett in AEW with the crowd chanting Bloodsport, which was pretty cool. And then the second really nice little surprise was Jon Moxley coming out to do commentary, which became
the first panic that I had though when Wild Thing played, and I was like, "Oh my god, are we getting this match?" And like freaked out.
Yeah, I mean, as I said when we were kind of watching it, the last time Mox and Josh Barnett were stood across a ring from another, Mox looked like he'd been in a fucking car accident afterwards, because he was covered in that much blood.
It was like one of his first matches back, wasn't it? Like ever.
It was Mox's like Bloodsport debut, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, it was.
Mox said during commentary here, like he said, obviously he's been training with Josh Barnett lots. Like he actually trains with him when he's over in California.
Yeah.
And so did Danielson.
Yeah. This was basically a Bloodsport match, wasn't it? It was very much that sort of style. There was a lot of catch can. It almost felt very work shoot. At times.
Shoot.
Or shoot, yeah. Like that European uppercut that Claudio gave Barnett felt like it was the real deal.
So good.
Yeah. Josh Barnett's so fucking good. He's just awesome, isn't he?
Yeah, he's like the Pokemon evolution of Axel Tischer.
Yes.
He's one of those wrestlers though, like especially like when you see like MMA fighters like become wrestlers, sometimes they can take themselves a little bit too seriously, and he just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah,
he's just like he respects like the whole Inoki side, like Inokiism side of it.
That octopus hold that he got Claudio in was a war crime.
It was upsetting
because like they're both so like beefy.
Yeah. Josh Barnett's a big lad as well, isn't he? He's like a huge boy.
He's like a fridge.
He's broad.
Yeah.
My lasting memory of Josh Barnett is him trying to murder Jay White's shoot because Jay White knocked JR out his seat.
Yes, yeah.
By throwing Juice Robinson into him, and then Josh Barnett was like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you."
God, remember when JR and Josh Barnett were the New Japan commentary team?
That was a better time, mate.
It was great.
Kevin Kelly and fucking Chris Charlton nonsense.
But no, this match was really, really fun. Moxley was having the time of his life as well on commentary. He did so many swears. It was great.
Oh my God.
Not as many as he did in the Danielson match later. We'll get back to that.
My favourite thing, though, was the fact that, like, he was later on in the evening, he was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I got fined for 0 hour, and then proceeded to swear, like, non-stop for 2 matches.
Well, at the end of this match, because on the pre-show, he literally just said, "Oh, can you believe we gave you that shit for free?"
And walked off, and they're just like...
What was it after Danielson and Sabre as well? He just went, "Well, ain't that some shit?"
The best thing was, like, what was it? Was it like, didn't he tell him to, he like threw his mic down and was like, "Fuck him up," and it was like, you are on commentary.
Yeah.
The other mics can still pick it up.
At one point, he just put his hand over his microphone. And he was like, "I'm going to cover my mic so you can't hear what I'm saying now." And then he just started to swear loads, and was like, "No, that's still coming through, John. Like quite a lot."
Like you have a cough button. Just use it.
I love the fact that him and JR were just like two like just fucking angry old guys who just came to who just came to ringside for all the fucking BCC matches.
Oh, so good.
Well, it wasn't like there was a point in the because when Danielson, like, we'll talk about this. Well, we'll talk about this now. Talk about Mox. When Danielson shouted, "I'm going to kick his fucking head in," and then started to kick Zach, Moxie was like, "Swear job, Brian. Don't know about it. Just put it in mine."
So some of the stuff he was just coming out with, though, it's just like, yeah, Mox just doesn't care.
No, it was unhinged.
Yeah.
Like, I was not okay, guys. I was not okay.
I still think he was concussed, I'll be honest.
Oh my god. No, like, I just think he was just...
When he's like, Brian reads books about, like, tantric sex stuff.
Yeah.
Do you want to know Starks and Utah when he was like, the thing with Ricky Starks is he's so pretty, I don't know whether to beat him up or take him out for dinner.
Yeah, and then he was like, you know, Ricky says Utah's a whipping boy. He'd be right, but it's a good thing. And you're like, what are these things that are coming out of your mouth? Like,
John Moxley saw Matt Jackson appealing to Tumblr and was like, right, it's fucking on.
It's go time.
He just Googled what Tumblr is and like had a fucking awakening.
He was like, oh shit, they're into this. But the thing is, it had like the most ADHD energy I've ever seen out of a wrestler in my life.
I mean, he's very much like that when he does interviews anyway.
It kept panning to him, and he was sitting in like a different position every time that like he just couldn't sit still. It was so good to watch, and like it felt like you were watching it with a pro wrestling fan. You know what I mean?
I feel like Mox on commentary is going to be like the new Jericho on commentary.
I think we need to do a watch through.
They're just going to bust out every now and again Mox on commentary just to like, just to be like, yeah, here we go.
Him and Danielson have like opposite ends of the feral energy scale on commentary, don't they?
I mean, Danielson was so regal the other day.
I love how this all came about, probably because Mox just like didn't want to not come to the show. It's like, I just want to be there, and it's like I just want to watch this. He probably just wanted to watch Zach v. Bryan, and it's like, well, I'll do commentary for it as well then if you need me. Yeah,
he said he wanted to like watch all like his guys' matches.
But yeah, I think we should do a watch through of Night at the Moxbury because for the entire pay-per-view he's just on commentary for all of it.
Is that Mox on commentary? Oh,
Mox on commentary for the entire show.
Oh, amazing. Oh. Right, we'll blast through the last two pre-show matches because they were less exciting than that one. Anyway, Luchasaurus just bodied Nick Wayne, like absolutely annihilated him. Yeah. I mean, at one point he didn't he choke him outside the ring or something?
Yeah, like right in front of his mum.
Yeah.
He beat up Nick Wayne so bad that Nick Wayne now thinks Christian's his dad.
And he's got a complex.
So that was fun. Obviously, Luchasaurus won that, and then we had Billy Gunn and the Acclaimed versus Bad Dude Tito, Shane Haste, and Mikey Nichols, all from TMDK. Max Caster's rap was fun. Again, just carrying on the unhinged energy. You've got Max Caster rapping out Tentacle Pun.
Yeah, and Retribution.
Tumblr's done a number on the AEW roster, hasn't it? Like,
Tumblr has done unprecedented damage to the AEW psyche. Like,
I mean, just wait until fucking Adam Copeland start until I don't know. Do all this shit. He's already doing that.
What's even worse is that I literally said to Nat earlier on, I was like, I can't wait for Adam Copeland versus the Young Bucks. And you've just fucking called me out on that, so thank you very much.
I mean, to be fair, I said to Tasty this morning, I want Edge and Christian versus the Young Bucks.
Yes. Yeah. Isn't it mad that, like, we're in a world now where we can get, like, Edge and Christian versus the Hardys again? Isn't that just fucking
Just because we can doesn't mean we should.
I know, but, like...
And get Team 3D and do it. Yeah. Do a cinematic match at the Hardy compound. You don't have to do a fucking ladder match. Just do a cinematic match.
Do a cinematic TLC match.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that's literally what Tag Team Apocalypto was.
Yeah.
Only instead of ladders, it had Ricky Morton and someone else who was old as shit and cherry pickers fucking slapping each other.
That's what we need.
Right then, should we move on to the main card and leave this degeneracy behind us?
Yeah.
So instead of that, we'll talk about MGF grabbing Vincent's balls.
Yeah,
because that's the thing that happened.
I kind of hated this because
it felt like a bit of a waste of time, didn't it? Like having just spent like 2 weeks building the Righteous up to like have MGF just beat them.
They've literally built the Righteous up to being like so fucking compelling, and then in one match they just undone everything.
I had the Righteous to win this, and it didn't happen, and I was sad.
I thought MJF was going to win it, but I feel like they could have done more to kind of.
They could have made it feel like a bit more like slightly hard work as opposed to him just like. I mean, he was in danger a few times, but in the end he won this like quite easily.
Yeah,
yeah,
and he overpowered them a lot.
It was entertaining. Don't get me wrong, it was, but at the same time, like I feel like they'd really done a good job of building the Righteous up until this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if it was all about protecting MJF, all they had to do was have the fucking Bang Bang Gang come out and attack him.
Or just have some guy in a devil mask walk out onto the stage and like stare him down, and then he's like, "Oh my god, that's because he said like someone stole my mask." So he's like, "Oh, who are you?" And then like Dutch just murders him from behind or something. I don't know.
Like an obvious neck brace on under the turtleneck.
Right. Speaking of entertaining, then, if you're not entertained by that, how about some Eddie Kingston versus Kazuchika Shibata?
So good.
That
made my soul happy.
When Eddie pulled his straps down and was trying to get Shibata to fucking chop him, and Shibata PK'd him in the heart.
Yeah, he just kicked him in the fucking heart. It was like, oh my god.
That was deeply upsetting, but this match absolutely fucking ruled.
It was lovely. There were like 3 moments in this match that scared the shit out of me because I thought Eddie was going to lose.
Yeah, I thought there was a lot of it where
that gave me the fear whenever Eddie was in one of them. I was like, oh no.
Well, also the fact that they kept banging on about, oh, maybe he's going to be a modern day Triple Crown winner. It's like, I mean, you really hammering it up here that Shibata's going to win, lads.
Yeah.
I think as well, every time like Shibata like reversed one of Eddie's like moves as well, like it was,
They told a really good story though, that like Shibata's like obviously kind of the perfect wrestler, so he had an answer for everything Eddie had, and Eddie just won by sheer kind of like Eddie Kingston look and determination. Yeah. I mean, the Fatal
finish as well, when he tried the Northern Lights bomb, couldn't get it done, and then he went back to the back fist and then the power bomb finally.
Kawada's cursed him.
Not like Kawada knows, like obviously, it's fine. But yeah, like, really, really fun match. And then Eddie, very nice little gesture from Eddie at the end, like he did with the other guy.
Ishii, wasn't it?
No, it was.
Oh no, Ishii. I mean, they had an argument, didn't they, when they were trying to like give the ring to each other?
Yeah.
He had it with Rocky, didn't he? And
he's done it a few times where he basically says, "Oh no, now play their music," and then he leaves and lets them have a bit of like respect from the crowd, which is really nice. So that was sweet. Next match, Chris Statlander versus Julia Hart. This was a match that I thought I wanted Julia to win really badly, but then I think Sarah pointed out as well. Like Sarah made me sort of see this. I don't think Chris is ready to drop the belt yet. I think Julia Hart. Don't get me wrong, Julia Hart is fantastic. This match was great. Julia Hart did really, 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 really well, but. I think when you see these two wrestle, you see the difference in where they're at now, and like Chris is just a level above at this point, and she needs to stay the champion for a little bit longer.
It needs to be cemented, doesn't it? But also, I don't know.
I kind of think Chris can afford to lose that belt and then go after the women's belt.
I agree. I wanted Julia to win. I think I don't think Julia looked weak for losing. No, because I think she really gave it to her. But
I mean, also, first of all, what a terrible start to spooky season.
Yeah, I know. Right. Like, it's been cursed from the start in true spooky fashion. But I'm really intrigued to see where they go with Julia now, because I think they do need to give her something, because she is looking like not necessarily like a monster in the physical sense, but she is becoming like a dominant force. Like, even if you wanted to say, have Julia get the belt off Athena and maybe put Athena in the main title picture or the TBS.
Well, so interestingly, on the post match media scrum, they asked Chris, like, who do you want to face now that you've beaten Julia? And the first two names she said, I want to take on Saraya to see who the best champion is out of the two of us, and I also really want to fight Athena.
I mean, Athena. Did you see Athena put that picture up of it was her head on Saraya's body, which was already odd. But then it was like she had all three belts, and she was like, "I'll take that challenge." So,
oh my god!
Speaking of that, did you see Max Caster put up a picture, and it was his top body on Vincent's lower body when MJF was grabbing his balls?
I did see that. That was deeply troubling.
Shout out from this match. I really like the spot they did where Julia went to spit the black sick on Chris, and she just slapped her. She spat it like out, like pat over the other side of the ring.
Yeah.
That was phenomenal. And Julia's moonsault is a thing of pure beauty. I love it. It's
like slow motion, isn't it?
She gets so much height. She gets so much height, but she doesn't need that much distance, which is really tricky. You can tell, obviously, she's got a background in like gymnastics and cheerleading and sort of like, she's good at the flippies.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, excellent match. Yeah. Next up, then we had the 4-way tag team match. Obviously, Rey Fenix was taken out pretty early. Apparently, according to Ryan's,
something on the Discord now.
Oh, is there? According to Brian Alvarez last night, it was like an angle to keep him sort of safe for.
So Fenix has put up. The International Championship has been a big challenge. That night, the night I became champion, I left the arena with the championship in my hands, with an old injury bothering me again. My first defense was painful. Did not allow the belt to stop me. Basically, he's just saying like he's not gonna give it up. I'm still going to work through the pain. So, like,
basically, he's doing the Orange Cassidy storyline, but in the space of about 3 weeks.
Yeah. Well, Excalibur said that belt's cursed, didn't he, on commentary? He's like,
every
international champion gets hurt.
I think Mox's going to come back and murder him for the belt.
They could do that, but it feels like Mox is a bit busy with someone else right now.
Yeah.
Because he had that stare down with Ricky.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
So I think Ricky's just working his way through beating all the BCC.
And then he'll join them.
So Cultaholic reporting what Brian Alvarez said. So despite the angle, Phoenix did not suffer an injury, and he was written out of the match to protect him for Dynamite as he's banged up.
Fair enough. Well, that's good at least.
When
we were watching this, to be fair, I thought it felt like Lucha Bros were going to win it because the way like the finish kind of felt not clunky, but it felt a little bit like weird because it was all Penta in the books.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I personally think the Bucks weren't the right team to win.
I think the Guns should have won it.
I thought the Guns should have won it. I'm shocked that you agree with me on that.
So for me, right, here's my sayings for this. With what happened, especially with what happened later with who won, I'm just going to spoil it. It was bald and hair. But for me, if you're going to have the Bucks lose to FTR after losing again, you know what I mean? For me, that's shit.
I don't think the Bucks are losing because Full Gear's in California.
Yeah, agreed. But
Full Gear's in the hometown.
If you were going to have the Bucks win, should have done it all in. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like it's weird, isn't it? With FTR's title reign, it's kind of just like spinning its wheels a little bit now. Which, I mean, I'll be honest, I feel like that way about quite a few of the champions in AEW at the moment.
I think the main title picture has suffered so massively. Not like in terms of quality of matches, but like story. Seems to have like.
But on the flip side, like having like this run of pay-per-views and not necessarily having a challenger for the world title at every one, it's enabled on the last two shows for them to build up the international title and the TNT title.
That's true.
And like I've got no complaints about the pay-per-views at all, but I just think like this, and I do enjoy the Bay feud, but I think with Adam Cole being injured, you should have just took those belts off them and then had MJF do something different with the title until Adam Cole got back.
Yeah, I mean, but Adam Cole, it's not like MJF hasn't got like storyline progression. Like he literally got a new challenger this week on Dynamite.
Yeah,
that's true.
In what was an absolutely excellent segment, which we're going to have to segue a little bit and talk about now, because I want to talk about greasy rat boy Jay White going after MJF.
Yeah. I was so happy when that happened. Like, I didn't think they'd do that. And I think that's why, like, it got me so excited. So I was like, oh, is this what we're going into instead?
But it was just when his music hit and he walked out, it felt like another one of those Bryan Daniels and Kenny Omega. Like, the energy was just like, oh my God, it's these two guys. This is awesome.
Yeah, they had like really like electric kind of chemistry together, didn't they? It was mad as well, because like MJF just destroyed Jay. I was like, oh shit, here we go. And then as soon as Jay like got on the fucking mic, it was like, oh no, he's fine.
Yeah, no, and the show's like, oh no, please don't tell me Jay's fucked this. Like, please don't tell me he's like just gone to shit on this promo. And then he started talking, and I was like, oh yeah, no, this is absolutely fine. He's cooking. It's good.
Jay White's fine. It's fine.
And I feel like, weirdly, this is the promo Jay White should have done when he debuted.
Yeah, he was doing his beating up Ricky though, wasn't he? So
Yeah, but what I mean by that is it absolutely established to anyone who didn't know who the fuck Jay White was, it established exactly who he was. Because he just listed off his accolades, listed off all his like kind of like nicknames, essentially just like told everyone who didn't know who Jay White was exactly who Jay White was.
It felt like a New Japan J-Po promo, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember when Jay White was going to feud with Kenny about the Bullet Club, and then it just didn't happen?
I'm hoping like that's what I want. That's what I want. Remember, it was at Impact and nothing came of it.
Well, no, it was like just before All In, when they were doing that, getting ready for that big multi-person tag match, and he was cutting promos about like how he carried the Bullet Club, and then they just like left it now because Kenny's in the Jerichoverse, so don't worry about it.
Jericho Megaverse. Yeah, but it is interesting that like they've kind of moved, because it feels as though Adam Cole was gonna possibly be the guy to take it off MJF, and then he got hurt, and then they needed to kind of like buy some time. And I mean, I think it's safe to say we all think it's Adam Cole, right? In the mask.
I honestly have no fucking clue. Like,
well, there was that thing after All In where the mask was with Cole's jacket.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm like, it's probably Adam Cole. And also, again, it buys the time. You can kind of like go, oh yeah, my injury wasn't as serious as I said it was. That's why Roddy's being such a needy little bitch.
Also, again, Tumblr were like, you can see the neck brace under one of those people's turtleneck.
Oh, like
as well.
What one of those guys was 1,000% Matt Taven, because nobody else in AEW's got that build.
Yeah, no one else is that lanky.
Yeah,
that oddly proportioned.
You could literally, it was like the guy closest to the camera was like, well, that's absolutely Matt Taven.
Yeah.
I think personally it's Cole, Roddy, Kingdom, and Kyle O'Reilly.
That would be amazing.
Oh, Kyle.
Yeah, because then it's basically the Undisputed Elite without Bobby Fish, because we don't need them.
No,
of course not.
We can replace Bobby Fish with Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, because combined they are still younger than him.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I would very much like for Jay White to take the belt off MJF. I would love that. Like, I think Jay White needs it. as well. I think he absolutely needs a title.
I'm a bit more convinced it's going to be someone else now. But prior to this show, I would have agreed with you 100%.
Speaking of that, someone else, should we talk about our next match on the card and our first certified banger of the night?
Oh boy. Are you telling me that Claudio Castagnoli and Josh Barnett was not a banger?
Oh, it was. I mean, I'm talking like nailed. I'm talking about nailed on 5-star matches, and this is the first one of the night, I thought.
Yeah. I agree.
So this was Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Page, and Jesus fucking Christ, this was unbelievable. This was just... I don't know how to describe this. It was just nasty, but in all the best ways.
It was Swerve doing murder.
Yeah, it did feel like, and not even like it felt like you didn't feel like Hangman didn't have a chance, but it did feel like you were watching your husband going out to die. You know what I mean?
Well,
is this what it feels like at the start of 300, where all the Spartans go off to fight in the battle, and all the wives are like, well, there we go.
It was interesting in the sense that you had kind of, it started off where they were trying to still like paint Swerve as being like the bad guy, and as soon as the crowd reacted, Swerve was like, I told you this would happen.
Heel Hangman, give me that.
Hangman had to kind of act. Well, have you seen his promo after the match?
No.
Oh God. So it's basically Hangman cutting a Jay White New Japan promo, where he's lying on it. He's lying on a crate, effing and blinding because he got beat.
Love those promos.
He's like, "See how fucking hates me."
Oh. Seattle and Cincinnati both got to team up and batter him. No, it's fine. This upset me greatly. I was not okay.
That double stomp on the apron was an actual fucking crime.
Oh my God! Yeah, that was upsetting. That was so upsetting.
It was like Swerve was like hell bent on breaking Hangman's face. Like there was that kick really early in the match where Hangman's nose was like all swollen up, and then he did the double stomp on his face,
and then he did that going for his nose.
Yeah, and there was that bit as well quite early in the match where like Swerve went for a runner off the apron and Hangman caught him and just like powerbombed him on the apron and then swung him around and powerbombed onto the barricade, and I was like, yeah, that's upsetting.
Yeah.
And then the buckshot as well, like absolutely took the soul out of Swerve.
The dead eye on the steps was horrible as well.
Yeah, it was.
That was upsetting.
Not the worst. Still not the worst thing that happened on the steps tonight, but hey.
No, absolutely not. But it was up there.
Yeah, this is great. There was a bit of fuckery towards the end. Obviously, Prince Nana got involved. He sort of saved Swerve from the buckshot because he put the leg up on the on the ropes.
That being an eternal spot, by the way. Someone always interfering on the buckshot. It's so good.
Yeah,
and then
to be honest, I like the twist of it though, where like the referee caught Nana, because normally that wouldn't happen, and even like the whole like Nana taking his crown off and it was like hidden in plain sight, and he just did it like he was getting annoyed at the referee, and he was Hangman tried to fucking go and crime Nana because he's a monster.
Yeah, but then I mean. The ending as well, because Swerve hitting 2 house calls and then a JML driver, and it was like
that second house call, which basically hit Hangman in the face, was horrifying. But yeah, absolutely
also,
the right.
Also, we need to put the crowd as well, because Hangman was kind of the heel in this match.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Hangman kind of realized.
Credit to Hangman, he worked it really well. Like I think he really adjusted.
Yeah, the fact that he did that, because he did the contract signing on Dynamite, didn't he? Where like Hangman stabbed Swerve in the hand with a pen.
Yeah,
and then like that then gave Hangman something to target throughout the match, and the fans. It gave Swerve enough sympathy that he didn't lose kind of like the mean streak of being a heel normally, but he still had like the hometown crowd sort of behind him. Yeah, this was excellent. The right guy won. If it's weird because it didn't feel like a passing of the torch moment, but it felt like both these guys kind of elevated one another.
Yeah.
And I'd like it if because it feels like now Swerve's on like a massive upward trajectory. Like
I was going to say, this felt like it felt like a big match. It felt like a really important match for Swerve, and it felt like you say, Jay. It felt like both guys elevated each other, but it felt more so like Swerve getting accepted into that top tier club now.
Heavy echelon.
Yeah, he's in that. Pardon the pun. He's in that elite group of guys now.
If Hangman is Swerve's first defense, I'd be okay with that.
And Swerve murders him again. Yeah, I'd be down with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
So before we move on, just want to talk a bit about obviously Swerve in the press conference, because he came in and chatted a bit, and he was kind of half in, half out of character, wasn't he? Like a little bit.
Well, he was very much in character until Tony like kind of brought up the fact that Jericho and Omega were both out before him, and they were like, "Oh yeah, Chris Jericho was like just like sung your praises, and so's Kenny Omega," and he was like, "Oh, that's really really gratifying." And he said, "I heard Adam Copeland say that I was one of the names that he wanted to wrestle, so that got me happy." But he didn't hear like Kenny and Jericho, and then Tony told him. He was like completely broke character, trying to like kind of hide the fact that he was smiling.
He said, hasn't he, on a podcast recently, though, like the Elite's like a group that like he really looks up to.
Well, Kenny said during the press conference that it's one of those things with Swerve where he doesn't shower him with praise, but he'll always kind of like after his match go, "You did a really good job there." And like he's just said like he's a really humble guy, real like he just doesn't let it go to his head. He just takes like the praise. He's happy to like kind of do what is required of him.
He's a lovely person.
He's a very nice man.
People.
When he's not murdering cowboys or swans, he's a very nice man.
And if you look at Swerve's body of work now in AEW, I think it stands up to pretty much anybody over the last 18 months.
I feel like he might be going after Kenny next, because Kenny needs something to do.
Climbing the ladder of the bodies of the Elite.
Yeah.
I mean, if Swerve pulls Kenny out of the Jericho verse, I'd be okay with
Jericho
that.
Megaverse. Yeah, I feel like I feel like Jericho wants to work with him. I feel like after this match as well, Swerve's going to have a lot of like heavy hitters in AEW wanting to wrestle him. Yeah.
Oh, there's going to be people queuing up to wrestle Swerve now, because he's proven you can put him on that big stage against a top tier opponent and he can deliver. And he's done it against Orange Cassidy, he's done it against Darby, he's done it in the tag division with Keith Lee against the Acclaimed. You know, this is not new. Like Swerve is, and we've said this multiple times when we watched him wrestle. Like no one does what he does. No one moves like he moves. No one wrestles like he wrestles. It's so different, and he's so unique, and he's so good. Like that, it's. I think there's so many mouthwatering like opponents out there for him, like that I'm really excited to see him have a good go on. Like I can't wait. I really can't wait to see what Swerve does over the next 6 to 12 months. I really can't wait.
If you've got time, watch Swerve VJ White in New Japan. That's a very fantastic match.
I'd like us to get Swerve versus Danielson before Danielson decides he's going to go part time. That would be nice.
Do it in Defy with no build.
Yeah. Well, thingy, didn't he? Mox said ages ago he wants to tag with Danielson in Defy. So just run like a little series there. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So excellent match. I kind of felt a bit sorry for the next match, which was Ricky Starks v. Wheeler Yuta, because this was just getting sent out to die, basically.
I still really enjoyed it though.
It was a fun match, but Jesus Christ, like it was the sandwich, like the pieces of bread on the sandwich were the better part, which is kind of weird.
At least we did get Mox just being an angry man.
Well, it might have been worse for people in the arena than it was for people at home. Because
we did get Mox back in commentary.
We did. No, I felt like these two had really good commentary, really good chemistry. I feel as though the only criticism I really had of it was could have done with building it up a little bit more. But at the same time, if they've got Ricky kind of like ploughing through the Blackpool Combat Club to get all the way to Mox,
it's the final boss, and we got John Moxley.
It certainly felt that way after the match where like Mox was sat there and Ricky was like staring him down. Which, I mean, build that all the way to Full Gear, I'd be okay with that.
Yes.
I mean, nothing much to say about the actual match itself. I mean, there was never any danger that Starks was going to lose. This was that it was always going to be Ricky.
No, interestingly, Ricky came out on his own and Big Bill came out like about halfway through the match.
Surprise, Big Bill.
To just like, chased him well off, didn't he?
But also Ricky tried and succeeded to essentially wrestle like a Blackpool Combat Club match.
Yeah.
Like he did all the kind of like the trappings of a Blackpool Combat Club match and beat you through his own game. And again, it's kind of like it's weaving into this whole story of Danielson wanting Ricky to join the Blackpool Combat Club, and Ricky's like, nah, fuck you. I'm just going to be really good.
I don't think I want Ricky in the Blackpool Combat Club.
Oh, he won't join. He doesn't need to. He's
that's what I'm saying. I feel like Ricky's like so good, like as Ricky Starks.
Ricky won't join a faction anytime soon. I think he's more likely to just go around being a fucking
factions.
thorn. Yeah, just being a thorn in people's sides, and he's got Big Bill to kind of like back him up when he needs to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed Mox on commentary.
It was very good.
Yeah. Right, on to second banger. Best banger, or potentially the match of the night, possibly one of the matches. Possibly one of the matches of all time.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. I mean, I haven't talked much about match lengths, but like, I feel like even though this pay-per-view was long as fuck, I feel like they paced it pretty perfectly. For the most part.
This wasn't super long, was it?
Shade over 22 minutes.
Yeah. Like I was expecting
nothing was over 25 minutes except for the main event, which was barely like 25 minutes 25 seconds, and that was 2 out of 3 falls. Everything else was under 25 minutes, and several matches. So Utah Starks was under 10. The four-way tag match was 12. The women's match was 9. Eddie was 11. MJF was 9. It was only Swerve Hangman was 20. This was 22. The 6-man was 22. The tag match was 20, and the main event was 25. I think as far as match lengths go, I think that they got that pretty much nailed on.
Yeah. When this got announced, I was expecting them to go about 40 odd minutes.
Yeah.
So when it didn't overstay its welcome, because I think as well, like with a match of this style, sometimes it can run the risk of getting a little bit repetitive. Especially with like
counter.
Yeah, especially with all the catch as catch can stuff.
We've all seen the Davey Richards, Tyler Black Ring of Honor World Championship matches that went like 60 minutes back in the day.
I have watched a couple of them now, and yeah.
I think I'm still watching one of them.
I like them for entirely different reasons, but like we'll leave that there.
But yeah, like you said, Jay, this was the pacing with this match in particular, I thought was exceptional. There was a real sense of like a feeling out period, a bit of mutual respect, and then it sort of just progressed and got like increasingly more ill-tempered as it went on.
Yeah, that bit where Zack PK'd Danielson's fucking broken arm was upsetting.
Zack was a lot of like wrist-based offense, wasn't it? Which was
yeah.
Well, Danielson's arm was like all swollen up after the show, wasn't it? And
yeah,
like he
showed it in the press conference. Yeah, it was fucking horrible. Just want to say the combination of Nigel McGuinness and John Moxley on commentary for this match fucking made it.
It was amazing, like because like Nigel was going all kinds of feral for Danielson murder. It was brilliant.
There was one point where what did Zack had him in a submission? I can't remember what it was. The armbar, and Nigel like jumped up out of his seat. Was like, I need to see this. And was like,
yeah. So it was shot perfectly as well because Nigel was in the background. So like Zack went for like a cross arm breaker. Nigel shoots up and goes, "I'm gonna see the dragon tap." And Mox takes his headset off and goes, "Fuck him up, Brian."
Yeah, that was what. Yeah, and like the day that happened, right? Nigel McGuinness is going to ascend. Like, he's just gonna just reach a higher plane of existence.
Become a being of pure energy and just dissipate.
I think Nigel should be the guy to do it.
I think he should.
Get him in a fucking... One of Nigel's finishes is the fucking London Dungeon. It's basically just trying to tear your arm off.
Yeah.
Do that to fucking Danielson's broken arm. That's all we need.
There was so much good shit in this match. Like some of the technical wrestling was off the charts. Like even Danielson said, like he said in the press conference, he said if you could put like an EKG, I'd love to like have an EKG machine on me when I wrestle this, so you can see my brain patterns. Because like he said, on the one hand, like part of my brain was like I want to win, I'm trying my hardest, I'm trying my best, I'm like going like full attack, and my other part of my brain is just like this is really fucking cool. What this guy's doing is like really fucking impressive.
I want to watch him watch his match back. Remember the way everyone did it for like Dragunov Walter? Remember when they had all the wrestlers do it? I want like them to like have like maybe just have the Blackpool Combat Club like with Regal watch it.
What Danielson said as well himself, he said like there was things that Zach was doing in this match that he couldn't even believe that.
Well, Mox said, didn't he? He was like, and Mox said at the beginning of the match, he was like, you know, in terms of like strikes and stuff like that and like aggression, like Danielson, like he's got used, like, but in terms of like, he literally basically said in terms of like technical like submissions and stuff like that, he said like he was like it's Zach, like
Also, Danielson's promo
from the Isle of Sheppey. We announced him as from the Isle of Sheppey.
The pride of the Isle of Sheppey.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it that he did? It was that arm. He did wrist stuff that made me like almost physically sick.
No, the dragon screw was vile.
That was upsetting. Yeah.
Danielson's dragon screws are fucking grotty sometimes, aren't they?
But Mox getting like grossed out by it all, but also being unable to not watch was brilliant.
Yeah, there was all like that joint manipulation on Danielson's wrist. And he like bent his wrist back and like stomped on the point of his elbow. That was deeply troubling. But
there was a lot of really good. I mean, this sounds like an obvious thing. There's a lot of really, really good like grappling, technical wrestling like that. But not just like the submissions and the transitions, but all of the time, like both guys knew exactly where the ropes were and how to use them and how to use the ring. And like you could tell both of the. And as you said, Jay, like last night on Discord, they were probably just calling this as they went.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Definitely. 100%.
like because they're both that kind of guy who can do that, and like you could just tell they were. But this was just like a 20-minute like sparring session to them that just happened to be a pay-per-view match.
Yeah. The Damn It Vince pod on Twitter absolutely described this fantastically. They said it was like watching two octopuses trying to find a contact lens.
Yeah. I mean, words can't do this thing justice. Like, just go and fucking watch it. It's only 20 minutes long. It was 20 minutes of some of the best wrestling you'll ever see. Aaron will hate it because it's technical wrestling. But,
Aaron loves Zack Sabre Jr. though. Weirdly,
which it just blows my mind because he's the most wrestler.
He's the most wrestler ever.
Well, we had this conversation, and he was like, "I don't know, I just really like him." I was like, "Yeah, but he's like the most wrestling wrestler ever, and you fucking hate wrestling." It's like, yeah, but it's like Zack Sabre Jr.
So I don't know what to believe anymore now.
I don't know what's real.
But this was exceptional. It was so good. It's probably match of the night. It's probably match of the year, and I think Meltzer's going to break the fucking scale for this one.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Meltzer's not really into that kind of thing, is he?
He should be. If he's not, he should be. But yeah, it was exceptional. And also, it's important to note, Danielson did not tap Zack Sabre Jr. He won with the Psycho knee.
Yeah, right. So, according to McGuinness, Zack Sabre Jr. is still the best technical wrestler in the world.
And Zack's already called out a rematch, and he said he wants it in either Japan or the UK because that's.
Oh man, if this happens at Wrestle Kingdom,
or All In next year, hey, why not?
Both of them, please.
Why not both? Yeah.
We need Brian versus Nigel at All In next year.
Yeah,
I mean, true. I'd take that. Yeah. So next up, then we'll move on. Again, this again felt like almost a bit of.
It was being sent out to die.
Yeah, but which is mad considering the match it is.
Given who was in this match, I was so indifferent about it.
Yeah.
I think
this was my feeling as well. I had this exact same thing.
I was just
I think everyone was just emotionally spent after the last match, weren't they? And it was like,
yeah.
So this was Don Callis' family. So Takeshita, Ospreay, and Guevara versus Jericho and the Golden Elite. Oh, sorry, the rest is the Golden Lovers, obviously. Kenny. So first of all, I want to say this is the best I think Ibushi's looked since he came back. Yeah. I think he's clearly, whatever injuries, he's obviously not 100%, but whatever's been bothering him, it's clearly gotten a bit better to the point where he actually looked like
boots on.
Yeah, he looked like he was capable of murder here, which was quite nice.
Yeah.
Takesh is just going to be one of the best wrestlers in the world by the time it's all said and done, isn't he?
Yeah. I can't wait for Jericho versus Takeshita after this match, though. That's one thing I will say, because they only had a few little bits together, but when they did, it was like genuinely really exciting. I was like, okay, I can get behind this.
So one thing they did announce, Tony Khan announced in the press conference after the show for this week's Dynamite, they're doing Jericho and Kenny versus Takeshita and Sammy.
Call them by their real name, please, mate.
What? The Golden Jet. I'm not doing that.
Jericho didn't fucking copyright that for nothing.
Jericho didn't get the T-shirt made for no reason.
Yeah, it's either that or the Jericho Megaverse. So take your fucking pick.
Golden Jets.
No, this was pretty fun though. I mean, it was one of those matches. It felt a bit like the All In match where like no one really got a chance to stand out because everyone was just doing so much everything.
Until Takeshita murdered Kenny with that fucking flying knee.
Oh god, yeah. Until Takeshita was like, "Remember knee murder? I can do that." It's just like, okay,
really like that match with the House of Black, and Kenny's like, "What?"
It felt like this match was kind of like a vehicle to like elevate Takeshita more than he already has been.
Mm-hmm.
And Sammy gets the pin here on Jericho.
Well, yeah, Sammy gets the pin, but like Takeshita did pretty much all the heavy lifting. Will Ospreay was also there.
Takeshita just murdered everyone. Will Ospreay did bits. He did a Sky Twister press off the top rope to the outside. That was fun.
Yeah.
Will Ospreay also threw himself in front of a Judas effect.
He did.
He took one for the bruvs.
No, thank you. But yeah, this was fine. It was just one of those things where it's getting to the point now where it's getting a little bit too played out.
We did get made a punch Ibushi, which I enjoyed.
We did get made a punch Ibushi, and he fucking punched Will Ospreay so hard in the liver.
I was about to say, I think he like shoot punched Will Ospreay like.
I mean, yeah, upsetting. I can't blame him.
He'll have to go down. His liver's going to be in so fucked. He's going to have to go down to like a mild Nando's.
Just drinking it through a straw.
Just garlic and herb. No hot or extra hot. Going forward.
It's so hard. He's going to need a fucking dialysis machine.
No, I kind of agree with you, Jay. I think they need to sort of do something because it feels like we've had. This felt conceptually very similar to the All In match, didn't it? Like just with a few people switched out.
Yeah, and I kind of get that. Obviously, they're building towards Takeshita and Jericho, which again, as I say, like from this match, I am genuinely very excited for that. And
Takeshita and Ibushi, they did a very deliberate job of keeping Takeshita and Ibushi quite separate in this match as well.
I wanted Takeshita and Ibushi for this. That's what I wanted for this pay-per-view.
I feel like Takeshita and Ibushi's probably happening at Full Gear. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, obviously we know Takeshita Jericho's happening at DDT. What if Kenny wrestles Sammy at, I don't know, GCW? Why not?
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, I think we just need to get to the next chapter. We need to get to the fireworks factory here, don't we? With this one, it's
yeah.
But the match is looking back. I'm sure if I watch this match like next week, I'll enjoy it. Like I didn't hate it. I enjoyed it, but I think if I watch it next week, I'll enjoy it like 100 times more.
Because you won't be following like the best match ever. The most match.
I was looking at like a few like wrestling journalist reactions to this on Twitter, and they were like raving about it. And I as I say, I was just very. I don't know if it was just because I just watched like Zack Sabre Jr. versus Bryan Danielson, but I was just very kind of like
And
indifferent
Mox on
towards it.
commentary twice.
And Mox
well.
on commentary, that too.
Twice, like for 2 matches.
Right. Should we move on to the next match? The tag title match, FTR versus Aussie Open. Can I lead off with a strong opinion here? I don't think FTR and Aussie Open have got the sauce.
No.
Oh, I think they had the sauce. And I think that
I wasn't super high on Royal Quest, and I was even less super high on this one.
Oh, really? Fair enough.
I think
there are other teams within the company who can have better matches with both guys.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think that with your analogy there, I think they had the sauce at Royal Quest, and I think they have the same sauce now, and it's gone off.
They put it in the fridge. They left it in the cupboard, and it's gone all crusty, and you can't get the top off no more. And it's like, it's.
Well, I
think
I'm just tired of FTR now.
Mark Davis got hurt quite early on, didn't he?
It was off the Power and the Glory, wasn't it? He, for all intents and purposes, broke his wrist. It looked like it was fucking... Because when they did the Coriolis, he wasn't holding him. He was just holding with one hand. Luckily, Mark Davis is strong as fuck and can do that because he's an absolute chad. But, it still looked horrible. Yeah. So
I think that definitely hurt a lot of it because, like when they did the Shatter Machine, and you could tell that, Kyle Fletcher was trying to protect Mark at the same time as hitting the move.
Also, I mean, I have to quantify this by saying, since the whole Punk debacle, FTR, they're approaching go away heat with me now.
Oh, see that? I think they're gonna, because they're really good friends with Adam Copeland. I think they're gonna now be like,
it's like, oh fuck Punk, we're Edge guys now. Yeah, it's like,
yeah. Well, Edge helped train FTR.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was FTR who got Edge back in WWE apparently. Back in 2020.
And when Seth broke into Edge's house,
he called FTR.
He called FTR and was like, "They're coming over now."
It's just a meme, isn't it? It's funny. Just friendship ended with CM Punk. Now Adam Copeland is my best friend.
Yeah.
They've got to cope somehow, mate.
Hey.
Cope.
Yeah, but I don't know. This match, I don't know. I would have preferred so many different pairings.
I feel like there was a few things that hurt it. I feel like the placement on the card didn't do it any favors. I feel like the injury definitely didn't help. And I feel like they built up from that first match so much.
You know what match would have absolutely fucked in this spot? It was like the cooldown match before the main event. Eddie v Shibata would have fucking cooked here.
Yeah. Also,
just 11 minutes of just hard-hitting bastardry, would have been perfect.
Also, I would have done this match before the multi-man, so who was facing them.
Just so you sort of
and then
knew
you could have done a little face-off.
Although that being said, I was more excited about the idea of the Young Bucks versus Aussie Open at this point.
Yeah, me too. I think Aussie Open should
a lot of people on Twitter were saying the Young Bucks winning was telegraphing an Aussie Open win later on.
Was it?
But that's what people are saying. But then they do love. Tony does love him some Bucks for the FTR, doesn't he? So
I'm over that now.
I think it was obvious it was going to be Bucks versus FTR as soon as the Bucks won.
Yeah, but
at least if they, I'm with you, Faye. At least if they'd done the tag title match prior to that, FTR could have won, and there still would have been compelling matches that they could have had with any of those other guys.
Yeah.
Same with Aussie Open winning. Either way, the result would have been more compelling. Whereas where it was on the card, it was for me, I was like, it's obviously going to be FTR because they've got the whole thing with the Bucks and they're doing this series.
They could have done this, and then you could have had Elite versus United Empire again. You could have threw that in there to get Kenny away from all of that. I just think shut up. I think though, Menace.
I think
again, I'm going back to the earlier points.
And they're trying to recreate what they had with FTR and the Briscoes last year. with the Bucks.
Yeah, but it's not the same though. They're not the same tag team. And again, going back to what I said earlier on, if they were going to have the Bucks beat FTR, it should have been at All In, because that match was phenomenal and the Bucks were really good in that match.
Are you just saying that because you were there?
No. Why are you like this?
Because he couldn't antagonise you last week, so it's coming for you double this
week.
Yeah,
for it now.
Yeah. Right, we'll move on to the main event then. And if you ever thought this match didn't deserve the main event of pay-per-view,
you're wrong.
Did you ever think that Darby Allin would go, "Oh, I'm in the main event. It's time for me to do something fucking stupid"? So to sort of put a sort of marker down for this match, before the match even started, Darby was bleeding because his own skateboard hit him in the face.
Yeah.
I wondered where that had come from. Like I must have missed the skateboard hitting him in the face.
When he was doing his entrance, he was banging his skateboard on the steps, and it just bounced up and smacked him in the face. Not the first time the steps would fuck him over in this match.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, this match is exceptional, isn't it? Christian proves to be one of the greatest pickups AEW. When everyone was mad that like he was being heralded as this big signing, and like, oh, it's only Christian, it doesn't count, and it's like, well, no, he's actually fucking incredible. So here we go. And
he continued to like make every ladder match safe that he was in, and everyone still complained.
He's just so good.
He's just a role model. What can I say?
Father of the Year, as Nigel McGuinness said.
Father of the Year. And now he has a new son.
Oh, so Darby picks up the first win, the first pinfall with a roll up. Which puts Christian. Well, Christian again in the press conference. Christian claimed he won 2-0, which was hilarious. He just gaslit everyone. He was like, "Yeah, I won 2-0. I've been champion for 4 months."
I don't have friends.
It was when Tony Khan was like, "Oh yeah, you've been champion for 3 weeks now." I was like, "I've been champion for 4 months, Tony. You've got a few problems with your timekeeping there."
Yeah, the first question they asked him was, "How do you feel about an old friend coming to the company?" And he's like, "I don't have any friends. My only friend is Luchasaurus. I've told you this."
And then he was saying
said it in the last press conference, didn't he? Like he was like, "I don't have friends."
And then he was saying that Nick Wayne was a good boy.
Yeah.
He ruffles his hair.
I kissed him on the head.
It was so bizarre.
And the press conference was worse.
So Darby picks up the first fall, and then after that, Christian just goes full unhinged mode at this point, then doesn't he? So he ends up. It looks like he's going to suplex Darby out of the ring onto the steps, and then he doesn't, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, thank God they didn't do that," and then he just does it anyway.
Yeah,
like twice, but not onto. When I say onto the steps, what I don't mean like onto the top of the steps. I mean onto like the stair bit of the steps.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, before you're forgetting a key story beat here. Before he did any of this, he went to put the moves on Nick Wayne's mum.
Yeah, and she switched him with a drink.
And she threw a drink over him, and then he just fucking lost his shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also because
Darby came out at him like a bloody dart.
Yeah, Darby like rolled him up with his like turtleneck over his head. He did it like funny. That.
So one day Darby's going to hit that roll, that dive on someone to the outside of the ring at that speed, and he's going to just explode. Like he's just going to immolate.
The way this was shot was fantastic. To be fair, where like Christian like sort of like staggered off after getting like the drink in his face, and Darby just like plowed through him.
Yeah,
out of nowhere. Because they never show you like Darby like taking off. They just show him like coming into the shot.
Yeah. They film it really well. They've been doing this for like since the start of AEW. They've always managed to shoot Darby like this. I don't know how, because AEW's camera work is sometimes a bit wonky, but like they always nail this like absolutely 100%.
Yeah. So yeah, then we got all the step murder, which was deeply upsetting.
Was.
Eventually, after like dumping Darby off the apron onto the steel steps about 5 or 6 times, Christian gets a count out.
Which is great. He gets the count out, and then Bryce goes to check on Darby, and then they get like the doctor and they get a stretcher down. While this is happening, Christian, because he's a top guy, he starts. Obviously, the match is over. He starts taking the ring down because he's never too old to work the ring.
He's a role model. He influences everyone who's in AEW.
He's just helping out. He's like, right, I'll take the apron, I'll take the canvas up, I'll take the pattern up.
Deconstruction, it's fine.
Exactly. He just starts breaking the ring down because he's a top lad. And I was saying to Sarah, like, I've seen. So they put Darby on the stretcher, and then Christian decides, I'm going to hit a frog splash off the top rope onto Darby on a stretcher.
Yeah.
Because why not? And then he gets Darby in the ring, and then Bryce is like, Darby, are you okay to wrestle? And Darby's like, literally coughing up organs, and he's like, yeah. And Bryce like, that's all the assurance I need.
That's okay for me.
Yeah. And then like the match is on with basically 3/4 of the ring exposed. Now, except for the one match that Jay knows about in TNA, the LAX OG match.
Mm-hmm.
Any time that the ring gets exposed in a wrestling match, typically it's for like one move, and then that's it. The match is over. This was like they went about 5 or 6 minutes with bare boards on this, and several like spots. Yeah,
Darby picked out of the kill switch on the wooden boards.
I thought, that was a fucking crime.
Yeah, it was. And then Christian did a murder on Bryce with the spear. Nick Wayne came out, and Darby was like trying to get Nick Wayne to hit Christian with the belt.
Well, Christian was going to hit Darby with the belt, wasn't he? And then Nick Wayne came out and nicked it off him.
That's correct, yeah.
And then, Darby death dropped Christian as well, like onto the board.
Yeah, Scorpion death drop onto the board, didn't do it. And then Nick Wayne thought about it, and you could see, couldn't you? You could see it coming. Like he knows what side his bread's buttered on.
He's a good boy, and as Christian said, he's gonna groom him as like the heir to the empire now.
Can we just focus on this? I mean, I've talked about it before, but it's even more like amazing now.
He deliberately made that as creepy as fucking possible.
So just over a year ago, we watched Nick Wayne wrestle in Liverpool, in a nightclub. When we met him, we had a picture taken with him because he was like the meet and greet guy.
I sounded like a proud mum.
And last night he hit Darby Allin with a title belt in the main event of a pay-per-view.
And then got hit by Adam Copeland with a steel chair.
Yeah. And then was the second person Edge speared in AEW.
Yeah.
Which was mad. So anyway, so Christian eventually gets the win because he just off the belt shot, and then he just got Bryce.
It was off the belt shot, and then Christian got Bryce.
Because he really fully hit him in the face with the belt.
Oh, and it's a big old heavy belt. Yeah. And then Christian wins. And as soon as the beatdown started afterwards, because Christian and Nick are beating on Darby, then Sting comes out. Then Luchasaurus comes out to take out Sting, and it's the classic Omen the numbers game. It's still too much. There's still too many of them. Lights go out. We get a beautifully produced vignette of
good, wasn't it?
Someone driving a muscle car down some real shonky alleyways in Seattle. Again, it was revealed Darby helped shoot all that, and that he knew all the locations and sort of planned out all the shots and stuff, which was really cool. And then we got the
rated R.
Yeah, the rated R on the floor. Then we got You Think You Know Me, which we thought we weren't going to be able to have, and then Metalingus obviously hit, and the whole arena fucking erupt. Edge is so excited, Adam Copeland, is so excited, he runs all the way to the left to the crowd, and we can't see him because all the steam's going up in front of the camera.
Yeah. It was cool. It was very cool.
Can you imagine when that happens at Wembley at all in next year? Imagine everyone singing along to Metalingus.
He's got Adam Copeland. He does Adam Copeland face as well, doesn't he? When he walks onto the ramp, and he's got that I'm about to cry because I'm so emotional.
Yeah.
But he said that really cool thing, didn't he? Where it was I felt free, as if I was I was not. What was he? The way he said it, it was as if he wasn't. He wasn't kind of bound to one company. He felt this was just when he first started out, and it was exciting again.
Mm-hmm.
You'll appreciate this, Faye. So there was a bit in the because he was talking about like his decision to come to AW, and he said like he felt like he had more to offer and he couldn't do that, and so he wanted to contribute more. And he said he was talking to his kids, and one of his daughters said, "You've got to go and be with Uncle Jay."
Oh.
In 2023, we had a pay-per-view ending with Edge and Christian staring each other down.
And as Sarah said to me before as well, props to Chris, like massive props to Christian. Like he must have been like so happy and excited for this to happen. But he was just like absolutely stone-faced in character. Like he did such a good job of selling this. Like it was phenomenal. Yeah. And then like obviously it looks initially like Edge is going to concerto Sting because Christian gives him the chair, and then he turns, hits Nick Wayne, throws at Luchasaurus, spears Nick Wayne. Christian just bails, and then Christian's literally on the ramp just like hugging his title, like it's his lifeline. And he sells it so well. He's like such an utter prick. It's incredible.
After the show, it was announced, obviously, that he's signed for AW.
Yeah,
as a full-time talent.
As a full-time talent, he's going to be wrestling every week. He's going to be on every show. He's got his T-shirts already out. They got Metalingus. Yeah, they got everything. They got rated R Superstar because WWE forgot to trademark it. Well, the trademark lapsed like 2 years ago.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's exciting. This is a really good sign as well for a behind-the-scenes thing. If you haven't seen his press conference, it's only about 15 minutes. It's really worth
it's on AW's YouTube channel for free. You can just go and watch it.
And he like the passion he talks with is exciting for the company, but also the fact that he was like saying that he's there to teach like the younger guys. Like when he was in WWE, he'd have like Zoom calls with like 7 or 8 guys, and he'd just talk them through like how to cut promo.
There was a really nice bit as well where when Darby came through his little bit on the press conference, he said like, because someone asked him what was it like working with Adam to shoot that, because like him and Adam shot all the vignettes, and he's like, I'm one of those guys who wants to like pick everyone's brain, and he said Adam was like, I don't want to be one of those guys who's like, oh, back in the day we did it like this, and then Darby was like, oh no dude, back in the day you were like spearing people through flaming tables, like I want to be back in the day.
We could get Darby, Sting, and Adam in a spooky faction. Do it for Halloween.
In the new Judgment Day.
I think if Darby's injury isn't too bad, because he did have his arm in a cast.
A sling.
Oh, no, in a sling, sorry, after the show.
Well, then he did. He basically said, I'm going to the hospital after this to get checked out, and then I've got a training session for Everest in the morning at 9 o'clock.
Future body marker.
Future marker. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, so one thing that I think we are probably going to get at Full Gear is Christian, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne versus Sting, Darby, and Copeland.
That'd be so good.
It got kind of like leaked, didn't it, through Fightful, that there's probably going to be a December pay-per-view. So I feel like they're going to build to Copeland versus Christian at that December one, because that could main event the show.
Easy.
But yeah, it was a very pleasant, I say, surprise. It was like one of the worst kept secrets in wrestling, but it was a very cool moment.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. It was one of them though. It was like Danielson and Punk. There was just enough doubt for it to still be exciting when it happened.
Yeah.
I had it spoiled for me, and I still popped.
I also had it spoiled for me, and I also still popped. But yeah, it's. I was saying to Tasty before we started recording. Currently, the amount of views in less than 24 hours is over 2 million.
2.2 last I checked. Yeah.
2.2 last we checked.
My friend doesn't even gone.
I was going to say, for comparison, the CM Punk debut is 7, and that's obviously after months and months and months. So it's pretty exciting that they're there.
Well, my friend who doesn't follow wrestling anymore, like messaged me and was like, Edge. I was like, I know. He was like, are you excited? I was like, yeah. So like, this is absolutely one of those things where it's like, it's getting people excited.
Yeah, so I'm just having a look now. CM Punk returning where he cut that awful promo was 1.9. CM Punk's actual like full debut, because there was two like lots, wasn't there? There was like
it was like a full 12-minute video, and then the other one,
the 12-minute one's 17 million, so that's still way off. But the fact that a lot of Punk's videos aren't far off Mr. Copeland shows that it's a good acquisition.
Yeah, he really does feel like he stepped into that Punk void and sort of like taken that, but in like a much better way. Because
nice guy Punk.
Yeah, it really does feel like he's there to like be that experienced hand. And again, he's been given straight to Darby Allin. Like it shows the trust they have in Darby. Like that they're willing to let him work with all these legends. Like everyone's first program is with Darby. They always put them together.
Yeah.
Well, one thing as well. Is did you see the thing he put out on Twitter straight after, where it was essentially just like a 4-page note app thing, and it was just like saying, oh yeah, I don't understand why people feel like they've got to be like against the company, and he's basically like very complimentary towards WWE. He was like, I spent 25 years there. I wouldn't have met my wife if it wasn't for that. I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, he's still gonna be watching. He's still gonna be wishing all his friends well. He said, anyone who supports me, please support me. If you want to support me, that's great.
Pro wrestling and not an acronym will still love what people tell. That's what he said.
Yeah. Yeah. He did also put that note on the fridge for Beth Phoenix.
Yeah.
Where it's like, be heading to walk the dog, be back in a few. But he put AEW in big letters throughout that. Which is just fucking great. What a guy. And she obviously Beth tweeted that out as soon as he's showing up, saying, guys. But yeah, this definitely feels like one of the bigger kind of jumps that we've got.
Like you said, it feels very similar to when Cody went to WWE, like the way he was able to come in with his full presentation and almost his full reputation intact. This feels like the equivalent to going the other way.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right, before we call it a day, do you want to give it a little pay-per-view rating, a little score out of 10 for this one?
Give it a 7.5. I think when it was really good, but there was a few bits where it was just kind of felt like it was not filler, but you know what I mean? It's it felt like there's a few times where it just felt like it was just a match to kind of put on the card, just to kind of pad the card out a little bit. And it wasn't
I'm going to give it higher than that. I'm going to give it an 8. Because I felt like all the matches on there were great, but I think the order of the matches was wrong. And I think I think some people that should have won didn't.
You guys, 3 5-star matches and Edge, that's a 9, surely.
Oh no, but that's the thing. So that's why I've marked it down so much, because when it was really good, it was really good. But then there was
what do you need? What do you need for an AJ?
I need Julia winning. I need FTR losing. I need the Ass Boys winning.
And
I need the Righteous winning. No, as I say, I thought it was a really good show. I just think there was better AEW shows this year.
I think it's the best show they've done this year. I honestly do. I think bell to bell, it was. I think it's up there with the best shows AEW's ever done in terms of the whole package.
I think both All Out, and All In were fantastic.
I was going to say Revolution, to be honest.
But they're all. I don't think AEW's missed on a pay-per-view this year. I really don't think they've had a bad one.
Double or Nothing. Double or Nothing.
I like Double or Nothing. I enjoyed Double or Nothing.
Let me just run the numbers on that one. What did we get? I mean, they had the 21 Battle Royal for the International Championship. Tony Storm, that was bad. Yeah. I'm struggling here. Anarchy in the Arena was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and it wasn't as good as the previous years, though. I mean,
how can you call it mid when it had the 4 pillars match?
I think.
The 4 pillars match is good, but again, it was
Anarchy in the Arena though. But I would, so I'm biased.
I mean, it did have that shonky Adam Cole Jericho match. To be fair,
it did have that.
Hated that match.
It did have that.
But for me, like I said, it wasn't as low to go as a 7, but for the exact same reasons as Jay, and the match order as well. So yeah, that was me, 8.5.
I mean, that's fair. 7.5, still a respectable score.
Have we got a wrestler of the week?
Swerve.
No, you know what? Fuck it, Josh Barnett.
Swerve, Josh Barnett. It's a bit of a cheek because he didn't actually wrestle when I'm having Adam Copeland.
Nah, that's fair.
Right.
On that, John Moxley on commentary.
And John Moxley, the commentator of all time is John Moxley. On that note, then we're going to call it a day. We'll be back next week to talk about more wrestling because there's always more wrestling. Nick Jackson teased something big on Dynamite this week, like a new era thing.
It's the rated R era.
Mike Speed's got a new dangly. Who knows? We'll find out.
It's the rated R era. It's King Switch's era. It's a lot of eras.
It's everyone's era. Yeah, it's undisputed.
It's got a new era ring. Yeah, it's fine.
Right, yeah. We'll see you all next week then. Enjoy your wrestling. Take care. Goodbye.
Bye.
Hello, yes, Danhausen here. Danhausen has been summoned. You must love this podcast housing, the Untitled Wrestling Podcast housing.